Hello. I'm about to show you one of my all-time favorite albums, and it's one that was in a Vinyl Finds video. It was an eBay purchase, I believe. I've been familiar with this album since it came out, which I believe was 1987. And it's not something that I would have thought I would have been into. Basically, it's a very, very artistic album with many different textures and sounds and styles, really. It's a very complex album. I dare say it's a concept album. I'm not entirely sure what a concept album means exactly, but the songs somehow seem to fit together, and in more than just, okay, this is an album, you know. For me, this is right up there with the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. That is another album that the whole thing just blows me away from beginning to end. So, this is a Canadian artist, a female singer. Originally she was on labels, but she grew frustrated with that, and so she basically created her own little label just for her own music, and basically she's just an independent artist now, and she's making a living doing it, and you may have heard some of her music, probably without realizing it. So, without further ado, let me introduce you to possibly my favorite album ever. Although Sgt. Pepper's is... yeah, that was pretty amazing too. Yes, here it is. It's Jane Siberry, The Walking. And again, this is something I didn't really think I would have been into years ago, but my musical tastes are all over the place, and I just enjoy music, period. Beyond it, my love for music goes beyond genres, and it goes beyond classification. And Jane Siberry, her whole catalog is just really great. I think there was one album that she had that, for me, it didn't hit a chord, basically. But this album, I am so thrilled to have it on vinyl. This is a musical masterpiece. I mean, I rated it right up there with the greatest paintings. You know, Monet, Renoir. It's a musical version of a painting, really. It uses thousands of brush strokes to create a story, and every time you look at it, or in this case listen to it, there's something new that you focus on, and like, wow, that's great. This album is far from mainstream. She had limited commercial success. My first experience with Jane Siberry, actually, was the title song, The Walking and Constantly. And there was actually a music video for it years and years and years and years ago, basically in '87. VH1 had a show called New Visions, and they focused on kind of some new age and some smooth jazz and things that didn't fit their regular audience, basically. So The Walking In Constantly was one of those songs that didn't, you know, if you watched during the regular hours, you probably wouldn't see that video. Another artist that I discovered, a couple artists that I discovered on there, were Tangerine Dream and The Lounge Lizards. That was a good one. That's kind of quirky jazz. Yeah, check that one out. And Tangerine Dream too. But anyway, this is about this album. So, my first experience was The Walking In Constantly, which is a really, really emotionally powerful song. It's just... every time I listen to it, I'm just overwhelmed. And then my second experience with Jane Siberry was Ingrid and the Footmen, which is kind of a fun, quirky song. The general emotion of this album is kind of somber or melancholy, but Ingrid and the Footmen, that's one of the lighter points. Right after The Walking In Constantly is a song that just rips me to shreds, called The Lobby. That one, you just get this tremendous feeling of sadness when you're listening to it. And I have nothing against sad songs. I love sad songs, but I don't want them to seem like they're trying to be sad. And Jane Siberry's The Walking... I'm sorry, Jane Siberry's The Lobby is just effortless. That's how the song feels. It just exists that way. And it just rips me to shreds. And then it ends on kind of another quirky, lighter note, but not like jovial, like Ingrid and the Footmen. The Bird in the Gravel. It's a very performance art, theatrical, musical track that kind of tells a story. And it's the perfect end to an absolutely brilliant album. She's done a lot of good music since this album, trust me. But this album, I just don't know that it can be beat. Yes. I am so thrilled to have this on vinyl. This is a used copy I purchased on eBay, and I would love to get like a reissue or something like that. I don't think a reissue exists, mind you, but if I could get my hands on a reissue or a pristine copy, I'd be so happy. Yeah, there's a lot of surface noise on this one. There's only one scratch, and at first I was deeply upset with that one scratch. But it happens in the first song on the first side. So I was willing to get past it, and ordinarily I would, if an album has a scratch that causes a skip, I just toss the album. But I can't toss this. It's too good, and the rest of the album is fantastic, even on this copy with a lot of background noise and pops and crackles. So I highly recommend it. I'm not sure if I made the comparison already, but I would compare her a little bit to Laurie Anderson. I know it's another obscure name, but there you go. Yeah, so I can't recommend this highly enough. You have to be open-minded when you approach it, but when you do, it really pays off. And Yeah, I recommend it. So please try and listen to Jane Siberry, The Walking. It's wonderful, and on vinyl. Oh my gosh! Now I need to get Sgt. Pepper's on vinyl, which, you know, obviously I'll probably get a reissue of that, because a first pressing would be, oh my gosh, crazy expensive. But if I could get a better copy of this, I will be even more happy. But in the meantime, I'm gonna listen to this many times. Yes, it's a true masterpiece. So I hope you'll open your mind and your ears and give it a listen. All right. Well, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.